Hi everyone. So today's lesson is all about drawing lines and circles and creating a shape which looks three-dimensional, and we're going to draw a cylinder. So I'm just going to put my cylinder there for now while we talk about tools that we use. For drawing line, we use an HB pencil. Doesn't smudge, draws a nice clear line, which is great when you want to do your contour around the outside. And then I've got a range of soft pencils here. Any brand will do. The ones that I use are woodless ones, just because I like them and I like the range of things that are in the case they come in, but they range from 2B right through to 9B, which is the softest. And then I've got a usual ordinary plastic eraser, and also a kneadable one. Pencil sharpener, but my pencil sharpener get all the sharpenings inside, so it doesn't make a mess everywhere, and various other bits which we don't need to worry about today. Okay, so line drawings. First of all, let's think about how to draw a line. My fingers are back on my pencil, rather than we tend to write like this and use our fingers as we write things down. But when we're drawing, if we pull our fingers back and think about using our whole arm, it helps to create better lines as we draw. And let's draw a straight line first of all. So without a ruler, I'm just going to first of all imagine where the line's going to go, and then just pull that line across. And so I'm putting my pencil down here. I'm looking at where I'm going and pull that line across. So you can see that you can actually create quite a pleasing straight line without a ruler, and it makes objects look more realistic and less like a technical drawing if you just use your pencil and just move your arm across like this. Fantastic lines for creating a drawing. And then the other shape that we need for our cylinder is an ellipse or an oval. So if I hold the cylinder the way that I would look at it if it was sitting on the table in front of me, you get an oval or ellipse shape at the top there where there is the circle. But as we look across it, we actually see that the circle sort of squashes, and then we've got lines going down the side, and then again we have the curve at the bottom. We'll talk about that when we get to it. So let me just put the cylinder down here. And so for a circle, first of all, what I do is I just move my arm around and draw several lines. So that's quite a few lines there. And then pick out the best one. Once you've had a bit of practice, this is actually surprisingly easy to get a pretty decent circle without drawing around a lid or other circular object. And then use my eraser just to take out all the noisy lines that I don't want. Just rubbed a bit of the actual line there, but I can still see it. There you go. And an ellipse, same thing. Several lines. It sort of comes to the smallest edge here. Not a point, but it just curves by that end part. Comes to the other side, same thing, and widest in the middle. And then again, take out those lines that you don't want. and you get an ellipse. So next up, we're going to draw the cylinder. So at the top, where I'm sitting, I see an ellipse around about like this, which, as before, just pull that nice line through it and take out the bits that I don't want. And then I just want to think about how long the cylinder is compared with the space across the top. So the way that we're doing it here, I'm just going to use my pencil to show you that the top is this wide and the length is slightly longer than the line through the center of the circle. So translating that across to our drawing, if we've got this as the top of the cylinder, then the length of it is going to be a little bit longer than that. And then I'm going to draw my line. You can turn the paper around. I'm not going to. So it's a little bit more difficult drawing down towards myself, just that it's easier for you to see what I'm doing. You can turn your paper around so you're going across like this for these lines here. And then at the bottom here, I've got that curve. And that curve actually is a very similar ellipse to the one at the top. So I'm just going to do the same thing. Draw the line, this line through it here. Just take out those bits that I don't want. And also take this one out because we can't see through to that bit back there. If we had a glass jar, we would be able to see the back of the ellipse, but because our cylinder here is opaque, we just take that straight out. I'm not going to put all the details of the lid. We're just doing a simple cylinder. This is just to help think about the way that it looks, and also to think about light and shadow. If I turn this here so that you can see it, the light's coming from this direction. So here's the lightest part, here's dark, and actually the lid is just a little bit lighter than the absolute highlight on the side here because the light's moving in very much from the side. So I'm now going to swap my pencils across and go to my softest pencil, a 9B, but you could use a 4B. Just a pencil that's a bit softer. The softer it is than an HB, the easier it is to create shadows. So you can see it's so soft, it immediately, without any pressure at all, creates a lot of darkness. Actually, I'm going to take this real light, now that I've seen over here what I'm playing with in terms of how easy it is to make a mark with, I can then go across the whole thing here and the lid. Come back to all of this in a moment. And then come back to the right hand side and put a little bit more darkness down there. So I'm just going to use my finger just to blend all those pencil marks. Come across here. And this takes a bit of time. I won't do it as dark as you could go. because I don't have enough time to do all of that, but I will post a picture at the end so that you can see just how dark you can get that to really look three-dimensional. But you can begin to see that it's looking like the object is curved. And the other thing, of course, is when you've got light coming in, create shadow. So we get a dark shadow underneath just as it hits the table. And then the shadow pulls over to the right. This is the cast shadow. It's a shadow that's cast by the object onto the surface it's on, and it's the darkest shadow. So I'm going to really add some depth into that at the moment, and just pull that line again there. And then if I want to pull the highlight a little bit more over this side, take my kneadable rubber and you can roll it or rub it. It's pressing it onto the highlighted side. And also a little bit, very lightly, on the top. And there you have a three-dimensional cylinder. If you enjoyed watching this, please like and subscribe, and you'll see other videos that I'm making pop up. Thank you.